If there is a father, where is the mother? Anthropomorphically, the mother is nature. We speak of Mother Nature to explain naturalism. Nature is consistent with science, nature explains life in a scientific way. We say that man has evolved, that life has evolved with it. Thus, we have gone from nanoparticles to the human scale. Science is often opposed to religion. Those who call themselves scientists have Mother Nature as their god. Nature relies on science, the religion of nature is therefore science. Scientific knowledge is very rarely a belief, it is based on overwhelming evidence. Thus, no one can refute science. Where would we be without science? We would be in the Stone Age. But no one worships science as no one worships nature. Science is therefore an anthropological religion, known to all and shared by all. We are all certain that science is based on exactness, unrevealed facts. Everyone, in part, believes in science, because it brings us progress. Without science, as I said, we would be in the Stone Age, and the scientific discipline is broad. It goes from submarines to space, including living things, robotics, and historical thesis. Thus, the science that studies history is called historiography or simply historical sciences. The progress of life is therefore based on the scientific discipline. We are all children of Mother Nature. The Father is found in religions, and if we want to combine religion with science, let's also admit that there is a son and a daughter. In my language, daughter can be said to be Messiah, or according to the correct pronunciation, Mwasi. And the son would be vice, therefore fire. Mother and daughter would respectively represent the sea and the ocean current, which is the air of the wind, the father and the son would represent the earth, the soil, and fire. I have just combined science and religion, the elements and their native parts. Fire for the son, air for the daughter, water for the mother, and earth for the father. These are the origins of the four elements and their family constitution. In short, I will not invent new religions, but know that the foundations are there. The foundations are natural, just as male and female sex are natural. I took from nature to form a discipline that I call speech. I only speak and develop concepts that already exist. Everyone knows science, and as I said, science is the discipline of nature. Those who do not have religions at least have a scientific basis. And if they do not have a scientific basis, they at least have writing and speech. Speech is used for writing, and the discipline of speech is literature. I write new concepts to develop my speech. My speech is as scientific as philosophical ethics can be. We first posit a thesis that we develop in theory so that it can then be proven by science. If science is unable to prove my thesis or theory, my idea remains paradoxically correct according to these foundations. The expression Mother Nature is a personification of nature, representing her as a maternal figure responsible for the life, giving, and sustenance of the environment. It is a form of anthropomorphic allegory that emphasizes the nurturing and life-giving aspects of nature, viewing it as an organizing and creative force. It is often used to embody nature in a feminine form, such as a mother, to express her nurturing functions and her role in the creation of life that begins in her womb. Mother Nature is the symbol of the organization of the world and the natural laws that operate independently of human activity. It highlights the deep connection between humanity and the natural world, emphasizing the interdependence and dependence of humans on nature. It is found in cultural, literary, and ecological contexts to evoke the creative and nurturing power of the natural world. Why can't nature be our only doctrine, our only theology, and moreover our only religion? Because nature has never spoken a word and has never promised us a new earth. Nature worshippers are referred to in general philosophy as biophiles, ecosophists, and naturalists. They are referred to as animists, neopaganists, and shamanists in religious spirituality. As for the ecologist, they are people who advocates for the rights of nature, and they often have a deep sympathy for the natural world. The naturist tends to take nature as the only guide in their behavior, in their way of eating and living. Adam and Eve were naturists, although they did not know it. They ate herbs and fruits, and they were naked. Nudity was found in animals and, by extension, in primitive man. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees yielding fruit according to their kinds, in which is their seed, on the earth." And it was so. And God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb yielding seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, it shall be your food. And to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps upon the earth, in which is the breath of life, I have given every green herb for food." And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to Eve, "Did God really say, 'You shall not eat from every tree of the garden'?" Eve said to the serpent, "We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden, God has said, 'You shall not eat of it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die.'" Then the serpent said to Eve, "You shall not surely die. For God knows that in the day you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like gods, knowing good and evil." When Eve saw that the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eyes, and that it was desirable to make one wise, she took some of its fruit and ate. She also gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate. The eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. They sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. Then they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. The man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to Adam and said to him, "Where are you?" Adam replied, "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself." And the Lord God said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree from which I commanded you not to eat?" Adam answered, "The woman whom you put with me gave me from the tree, and I ate." And the Lord God said to Eve, "Why have you done this?" Eve answered, "The serpent seduced me, and I ate." The philosophy of the first scientists was primarily mythological. They explained the universe by the distribution of gods, who are in fact angels, and their vision of the heavens in accordance with their regions, their stars, and their universes. Thus, several goddesses are associated with nature. The best known of them is probably Gaia, the primordial goddess of the earth. Then Artemis, goddess of the wild and the hunt, and finally Demeter, goddess of agriculture and harvests. There are also the nymphs, Cybele, Diana, and Devana. Natural science, also called natural science, brings together all the scientific disciplines that study the natural world and the universe, including biology as life sciences, physics, chemistry, earth sciences, and astronomy. These studies aim to understand natural phenomena, from the infinitely small to the infinitely large, and allow students to prepare for academic careers in varied fields such as health sciences or pure and applied sciences. Writing is not a scientific invention in the sense we understand it today, but a human invention that has become an indispensable tool for science and progress. It emerged several times independently, in Mesopotamia, Egypt, China, and Mesoamerica, initially as a tool for accounting and administrative management. Its development, from the ideogram to the alphabet, allowed for the accumulation of knowledge, the transmission of information, and the establishment of complex systems of thought, laying the foundations of modern science. Science itself refers to a body of knowledge, of know-how, and more specifically, a systematic approach to constructing and organizing knowledge in the form of explanations and predictions that can be tested. It encompasses a wide range of fields, from the natural sciences such as physics, chemistry, and biology, to the humanities such as sociology and psychology. God said to Adam, "Because you have obeyed the voice of your wife and eaten from the tree about which I commanded you, you shall not eat from it, cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you shall eat from it all the days of your life, thorns and thistles it shall produce for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. In the sweat of your face you will eat bread, until you return to the ground from which you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return." The Lord God made coats of skins for Adam and Eve and clothed them. And the Lord God sent them out of the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which they were taken. So he sent them out, and at the east of the Garden of Eden he placed cherubim, waving a flaming sword, to guard the way to the tree of life. Adam and Eve were left alone in nature, where Mother Nature is. The gates of paradise were closed and forbidden to the children of Adam until the end of time.